Welcome to RANsquawk's e-morning briefing for Thursday the 8th of October 2009. Through 9 o'clock now, it's a bit of a review of the overnight news and where we stand at the moment. It's all being very much dominated by one news story, that being of Alcoa, which reported after the market closed yesterday evening. And surprised as well, it did post a profit. Analysts were looking for a share loss for the third quarter. Looking at those numbers in specific, Q3 X items EPS was at 4 cents profit, and it's expected a share loss of 9 cents. Revenues they also beat at 4.6 billion. They said they're exceeding all targets of cash sustainability program, and they see signs of key markets are stabilising in the second half of 2009. Again, great importance there, as it could well set the tone for this season's earnings season. And again, they shot up in aftermarket hours, and they're in German floor trade are up around 10%. Consequently then, we did see a Nikkei finish higher. And then in terms of European and UK bourses at the moment, we're currently up between 1 to 1.5%, seeing some decent outperformance for the basic material stocks. In particular in France, the likes of ArcelorMittal, one of the leading gainers there, up around 4.5% or so. Elsewhere as well, giving commodities a bit of a boost across the board, we've seen continued pressure in terms of the US dollar weakening. Dollar index, that's down at its lows around 0.5%. A couple of pieces worth noting from the FT. They write that the falling dollar is giving ammunition to the critics of the Obama administration and fueling broader concerns about the potential erosion of America's reserve currency status. But again, more so as well, some of the buoyant optimism on that Alcoa earnings and the general risk appetite pickup has seen the dollar index down, and in turn, for the third consecutive session, spot gold prices continue to touch record highs. We did print at around 6 AM this morning at 1,058. In turn as well, WTI crude futures higher by $1 at the moment as well, so lifting some of the oil and gas and energy stocks. In terms of other related news, obviously today is very much dominated in the UK by the interest rate decision by the Bank of England. Not many people expecting too many great shakes here, with overwhelming consensus for rates to remain on hold at 0.5%, with the QE programme that was also to be maintained at 175 billion. Most, including the Times MPC, which is closely followed in the UK, they voted 8-9 for their vote to keep things unchanged. And they also, as much of the market expects, the Bank of England, if they are to do anything, will more likely wait for the quarterly inflation report, which will be released next month. In terms of going back to some stocks, a couple of individual stocks news I'd just like to point out. Coming out of the UK, the front page of this morning's FT writing that Lloyds, they're sounding out investors about a £15 billion rights issue to help avoid a government scheme to insure it against its credit losses, so looking to pretty much remove themselves from that asset protection scheme. Their shares, though, are seen a little bit higher at the moment, up around 0.5% at last check. Elsewhere for Ladbrokes, they're a notable loser today. They have to raise 275 million sterling in a rights issue. And elsewhere for Salzgitter, according to an FD Deutschland report, the company expects to post a loss for 2009 and sees little room for raising prices, as a recovery in industry will take longer than expected. But again, equities off to a decent start today on the back of that Alcoa news. So in terms of the register schedule this morning, we'll be looking out for German industrial production. That'll take us to midday for the Bank of England decision at 12. 12:45 then sees the ECB. They also have their interest rate decision today, but again, analysts not expecting any changes. Their rates to remain on hold at 1%. We'll see that accompanying press conference with Trichet, which will usually, as normal, gain most of the attention. But again, nothing too much expected. That's due at 1:30. Other than that, it's the weekly jobless claims and continuing claims from the US at 1:30. Wholesale inventories at 3 o'clock, followed by the EA natural gas storage change. And then in terms of supply, we'll be looking out for the final of the week's Treasury auctions from the US. That'll be the $12 billion 30-year notes.